Do you walk down the street and see a couple holding hands and feel a surge of sad, frustrated, negative, jealous energy? Good. Because you can transmute that jealous energy into a powerful manifestation technique, and in this video I'm going to teach you how. So first of all, welcome to the Chic Life, where we talk about overcoming your negative thoughts so that you can manifest the life of your dreams. So feeling jealous and bitter, sometimes this feels like a really negative energy, and it can be, but it's also an indication of something that we actually really want. Sometimes we may feel like we see a couple that's being like lovey-dovey and we're like, ugh, look at them. But if you really search within yourself, there may be a chance that you actually really want to be a lovey-dovey couple like that, but maybe you haven't been able to get into a relationship where you get to be as lovey-dovey as you want. Oftentimes we know from our previous relationships where we have significant others who do not give us certain things that we want, or where the relationship doesn't have certain elements that we really like, this can sometimes turn into limiting beliefs that we take on, and we start to feel that these things are not possible for us. Alternatively, we may encounter certain things that we had present in previous relationships but no longer have because we are single. So I actually encountered this a lot when I first started dating in New York City after my divorce. I found myself feeling a lot of jealous feelings, and I was doing a lot of self-work in terms of just living a high vibe life. But I think especially because of the divorce happening in the area of love, things were a little bit harder for me, and I felt like a lot of negative jealous energy when I would see happy couples, and I decided that being negative and being upset about happy couples was not going to get me any closer to manifesting love into my life. So I decided to take that jealous energy and transmute it into something more powerful for attracting the love that I truly wanted. And it actually worked. I ended up attracting a guy who gave me all the things that I had previously been jealous about. So if you want to learn how I transmuted jealousy into a powerful manifestation technique, please keep watching. Before we jump into the video, I just created a brand new Team Chic High Vibe Tribe group on Facebook. It's a free group, and I'm going to be posting a ton of valuable law of attraction, manifestation, and positive mindset content in there. You don't want to miss out, because as soon as you join, you're going to get access to all of that, and it's going to be a great place to recharge with positive energy and hang out with like-minded people. So here's the thing with energy. When we feel negative energy towards something we actually want, and when we really focus our energy in that negative space around that thing, it actually repels us further away. So if you see a lovey-dovey couple, and if you soul search and you want to be a lovey-dovey couple, this is just an example, so whatever it is for you, just replace with lovey-dovey. But if you soul search and you really want that thing, then it's important that you take any negative energy you have around that, or even if you just have negative energy around love, maybe you're feeling upset because you've been single for a while, or whatever it may be. If you start feeling bitter and resentful and angry about love, that's just going to push love further away from you. And jealousy is one of those powerful emotional energies that can really push love away. But you can take that jealous energy and convert it into something that actually attracts the love you want and attracts love into your life. So when it comes to changing our thoughts, we don't want to just start thinking positive thoughts. We want to actually take the jealous thoughts and transmute them and convert them into something that's going to attract what we want into our lives. So I'm going to share some ways you can use any jealous thoughts that come up both instantly as well as use them later. Because I found that personally, when I was transmuting the jealous thoughts immediately, that's what I found to be the most effective in terms of using it as a manifestation tool. So the first thing you want to do is just be aware of your jealous thoughts and make a decision about how you want to use them. So I feel like jealousy is kind of one of those gut reaction feelings where we see a couple having something that we want and we are instantly jealous about it, and we can feel some pretty negative emotions straight away. So what you want to do is catch yourself and say, oh, I'm having these jealous thoughts, and these negative thoughts are not serving me and they're not helping me. And instead, I choose to think better feeling thoughts that are actually going to attract love into my life. I would literally just say to myself, these negative thoughts aren't serving me, and I choose thoughts and energy that do. Once you've gained awareness of the thought and you've made the decision that you would like to turn it into something good, there are two things that I like to do instantly. The first is what I call the me one day technique. So when you see something that you really want, use it as an example that you can use to stay hopeful. If you see it in another couple, that means that it's certainly possible for you. It means that there is the kind of guy out there who exists who can give that kind of thing to you in your relationship. So if you happen to be walking on the streets, and a lot of my examples are walking on the streets because I pass a lot of couples in New York City, but wherever you see a couple, perhaps you see them dressed up like they're going out for a fancy event. And this reminds you about how in the past, all the guys that you've dated have been pretty casual and they didn't really want to dress up and go to these fancy events with you. A lot of times when these kinds of thoughts come up, we jump straight to our limiting belief thoughts, and we might think even something like, I'll never find a guy who wants to go to fancy events with me. But you want to catch yourself in that thought, because if you believe that thought, then that's what's going to be your reality. So if you want a different reality, let's replace that thought with something more positive and optimistic, like, one day I'm going to meet the man of my dreams and he's going to love dressing to the nines and going to fancy events with me. So basically, just when you see a couple that has something that you'd like, just reaffirm to yourself, that's going to be me one day, and be excited about it making its way to you. This is also a technique that I used in my Law of Attraction video about how I use Law of Attraction to manifest recovering from a back injury. So after the me one day technique, I like to do the instant visualization technique. So when you're out and about and you see an example of something that you really want and it makes you feel jealous, use this as an opportunity to instantly manifest yourself in the exact same situation, but with your significant other. For example, if you see a couple walking into a museum and maybe your last boyfriend didn't like going to museums, you thought they were super boring, and so you had this longing for wanting to find someone who wanted to go to cool museums with you, just picture yourself like literally in that exact scenario. Like whatever museum you're passing, picture yourself set to the same scene as whatever you are in. So if it's winter and you're dressed in puffy coats and there's snow falling and it's a specific museum, picture now just the same scene that you're seeing, but it's you and your significant other in it. Picture what kind of coats you're wearing. Picture the snow falling down around you. Maybe you guys are commenting about how cool the snow is as you're walking into the museum. And let your visualization continue to flow as though you're actually experiencing an ideal museum adventure with your ideal significant other. How would it go? Would you guys be boisterous and giggly? Would you be making little jokes about some of the art because you like to be cheeky? Or would you be maybe going into the detail about a particular piece and noticing the fine details of the craftsmanship of the artwork? How would you experience the museum? In what ways would this be the most enjoyable experience possible? Visualize yourself going through all of this and get really excited and get into the energy of how cool it will be when you are experiencing this in real life. And remember to have fun with this. You're co-creating your ideal life and your ideal relationship. So the previous two things were things I would do, like while I was literally walking around, I would just instantly convert my jealous thoughts into something positive through the me one day and through the instant visualization, using whatever was right in front of me and just getting into those powerful positive thoughts. You can also use examples that you see from other couples that trigger those jealous feelings into powerful manifestation techniques later. So really think about, what was it that you saw? Did you see a couple holding hands and this reminded you about how maybe in the past you didn't always have a guy who liked to hold your hand and that was something that you always really dreamed of having? Well, now is your opportunity, because you're a powerful co-creator and you can manifest any ideal romantic partner that you want. So this is a really great thing that you can use for scripting. So you could script an ideal day in the life and talk about how maybe you went on a date with your boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever, and while you were walking into the restaurant, you guys were holding hands, or maybe you were holding hands at the dinner table and you just loved how warm their hand was and how you felt so comforted by them holding your hand, and you just felt this loving touch from your partner and it just filled you with feelings of elation and happiness, and you were just enjoying that moment so much. Script it out and get detailed and have fun with it and get into that positive energy of having that hand holding and whatever else comes up for you. As you can see, this is a much better way to use the energy rather than thinking, I'll never find a guy who will want to hold my hand. If you think you'll never find a guy who will want to hold your hand, you never will find a guy who wants to hold your hand, because what you focus on becomes your reality. But like I said, you can convert that through the scripting. You can also use affirmations. So rather than think, I'll never have a guy who wants to hold my hand, convert that to a powerful affirmation, like, my significant other is so affectionate and he loves holding my hand. So these are super simple ways you can use that jealous energy and convert it very quickly into positive, powerful thinking that also is a great manifestation technique. I literally use this myself to manifest my relationship, so I'm a proven success story. I know some people like to hear about success stories, so that's one of mine, and I can go into more detail on that in another video. Comment below if you want to know more about how I manifested love into my life. Other than that, check out the link in the description box below so you can get your free training, and be sure to join my new Facebook group because it's going to be a great place to raise your vibe and geek out on all things law of attraction. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and be sure to turn on the notification bell so you get alerted when I upload a new video. All right, thanks again for watching. See you soon. Bye.